The morning after the break-in felt heavier than the dawn itself. Adrian Kane sat at the long dining table, untouched breakfast in front of him, steam curled upward from the coffee cup he hadn't lifted. Elias Ward paced near the window, shoulders tight, eyes scanning the streets below. Neither had slept. Adrian finally broke the silence. "They know where I live, Elias. They know everything." Elias turned, arms crossed. "I know, but that doesn't change the plan." Adrian lifted his eyes, tired. "Which is?" Elias inhaled deeply. "We stop reacting and start hunting." Adrian studied him. "You want to go after the Meridian Circle?" Elias nodded once. "They're not expecting offense. They think we'll hide." A pause. "And I don't hide." Adrian's voice softened. "Neither do I." Elias stepped closer, lowering his voice. "But listen to me carefully. If we do this, we're stepping into your father's world. The world he kept off the books. The world he never wrote down." Adrian swallowed. "That's why we have to." Elias stared at him. Long, steady, almost protective. Then he sighed. "Fine. Then we start with the man who gave your father access to that world." Adrian blinked. "Who?" Elias held his gaze. "Your father's closest friend, the one who vanished after the scandal. Marcus Hale." Adrian's face changed instantly, shock mixed with something colder. "He's dead!" Elias shook his head. "No, he only disappeared." Adrian whispered. "Then we find him." The abandoned factory. Night. A storm rolled over the city again. Thunder rumbling through the hollow walls of the old steel factory. Elias moved first, carrying a flashlight. Adrian followed, slower but determined. Water dripped from broken pipes. The air smelled like rust and rain. Adrian rubbed his arms. "You sure he's here?" "No," Elias answered. "Honestly. But someone was. Recently." Adrian's beam of light fell on fresh footprints in the dust. Elias crouched beside them. "They're new. Hours old." Before they could move deeper, a creaking echoed from above. Adrian froze. Elias pulled him back. "Stay behind me." A figure shifted in the shadows, not approaching, observing. Elias raised his voice calmly. "We're not here to fight." The shadow didn't move. Adrian stepped forward carefully. "We're looking for Marcus Hale." The figure stepped into the light. A tall man, gray beard, steady eyes that held more regret than fear. "Then you found him," the man said quietly. Adrian's breath caught. "Marcus!" Marcus Hale looked at him the way a ghost might look at the living, as though time had trapped him in a sorrow he couldn't escape.
"You look like your father," Marcus murmured. "Too much like him." Elias stepped forward. "Then you know why we're here." Marcus nodded slowly. "Yes, and you are both already in far deeper danger than you realize." Adrian met his eyes. "Tell us everything." Marcus hesitated, then motioned for them to follow. The back office of the factory, later. The small room was lined with old papers, maps, photographs, Marcus closed the door behind them. Your father didn't run the Meridian Circle, Marcus began. He served it. Adrian frowned. Served? My father controlled everything. Marcus shook his head hard. No. He was powerful, yes, but the Circle, they were older, bigger, and they saw him as a useful tool. Elias stepped forward. So they framed me to protect their own operations? Marcus nodded slowly. And when Adrian began digging after your father's death, he became a threat too. Adrian felt the weight tightening in his chest. So the attacks, the explosion, the break-ins? Marcus finished the sentence for him. All warnings. The Circle doesn't like questions, and they don't accept disobedience. Elias clenched his jaw. What do they want now? Marcus looked at him, eyes heavy. They want Adrian to finish his father's work. Adrian blinked. What work? Marcus exhaled shakily. Control, influence, monopolizing entire industries under a single invisible power. The Circle wants global hands in every sector: government, sciences, security, wealth. Adrian's stomach twisted. And they wanted my father to lead it? They wanted him to front it, Marcus corrected. When he refused, they pushed him harder. When he resisted, they threatened his legacy. Elias stepped closer. So who's leading them now? Marcus looked at the ground. I don't know. Elias's voice hardened. You do. Marcus closed his eyes. I can't say it aloud. Elias's tone sharpened dangerously. Then whisper it. Marcus opened his mouth, but the window shattered before he could speak. A single shot, silenced, precise. Marcus collapsed instantly, clutching his shoulder. Adrian gasped and rushed to him. Elias was already dragging both men behind cover. Get down, now! Footsteps echoed above them, not rushed, confident. Elias peeked up. 2 figures, masks, blacked-out clothing.
Not amateurs. Adrian pressed against the wall, trying to stay calm. They found us, he whispered. Elias pulled out a small metal rod from his jacket, a collapsible baton. Then we finished this fast. He moved like a shadow, silent, precise, taking down the first attacker with a sharp strike to the shoulder. The second lunged. Adrian pulled Marcus back. Elias blocked the attack, pinning the man against a pillar. Who sent you? Elias demanded. The man said nothing, only smiled. A smile Adrian recognized. A Circle smile. Cold, controlled, obedient. Before Elias could press further, the man dropped a device. Elias instantly shoved Adrian aside. A flash of white burst across the room. Smoke, choking, blinding. When the air cleared, the attackers were gone. Marcus groaned. They'll keep coming until the Circle gets what it wants. Adrian's voice shook. Then we stop them first. Marcus looked up with urgency. To stop them, you must know who leads them. Adrian leaned in. Who is it? Marcus's eyes met his, filled with pain, fear, and something darker. It's someone you know, Adrian. A cold silence fell. Marcus swallowed hard. Someone who was there the night your father died. Adrian froze. What? Marcus's voice weakened. Someone inside your empire. Someone who acted like family. Someone who wanted your father gone. Adrian's heart pounded. Who? Marcus whispered, but the words came out broken, incomplete. The one you trust the most. And he lost consciousness. Adrian stared at Marcus, shaken, pale, breathing fast. Elias placed a hand on his shoulder. We'll get him medical help. Then we'll figure out who the traitor is. Adrian closed his eyes. Someone I trust the most. Elias, that could be almost anyone. Elias's voice dropped to a near whisper. Then we trust no one. Adrian looked at him, really looked at him. You're the only person I trust right now. Elias didn't answer, not with words. But something fierce tightened in his expression. They had crossed a line. Enemies no longer. Allies, whether any of them planned it or not. And now, they were up against a ghost leading a powerful shadow empire. Someone close, someone hidden, someone who knew every detail Adrian would never suspect. Someone who wanted him next.
The next morning arrived too quietly, as if the world itself was holding its breath, waiting. Elias didn't sleep, not a second. He sat in his office, staring at the city skyline, replaying the same question over and over. Why would a man who hated me risk his life for mine? He had read Leo's file 100 times, every line, every detail. The rival family, the old business war, the revenge sworn long before they were even adults. Elias had seen it all, but nothing in that file ever explained this. A knock on the door finally broke the silence. It was his head of security. "He's awake," the man said softly. "But there's something you need to see." Elias stood. His pulse tightened. They led him down the private hallway into the medical wing of the estate, and when he entered the room, he froze. Leo was sitting up, breathing, alive. But that wasn't what stopped Elias. Leo's sister, Tessa, was there. And she wasn't yelling. She wasn't accusing. She wasn't threatening. She was crying, quietly, silently, her head on her brother's shoulder. And Leo, the man who was known for ice, arrogance, and pride, was holding her with a gentleness Elias had never seen before. Something in Elias shifted. This man wasn't the enemy he grew up hearing about. He wasn't a monster. He wasn't a villain. He was a human. And he had someone he loved just as fiercely as Elias loved Maya. Leo looked up. Their eyes met. Time stopped. For the first time in their lives, they saw each other without walls. Leo exhaled slowly. "I didn't save you because of a deal." His voice weak, but steady. "I saved you because I was wrong about you." Elias didn't speak. He couldn't. Leo continued. "I thought you were the enemy. Cold, cruel, just like the stories I was told. Stories from people who weren't even alive when the feud started." Tessa squeezed her brother's hand, her eyes red but clear. "And you," Leo added, "you saw us the same way." Elias finally stepped forward. "I did," he admitted. "But that ends now." A heavy silence followed, a silence filled with decades of pain neither man had caused, but both had inherited. It was Leo who broke it. "There's more," he whispered. He reached under the blankets and pulled out a small flash drive. This is why I came after you." Elias frowned. "This drive contains documents, real ones, not rumors, not hearsay, evidence of who actually orchestrated the feud, who fueled it, who profited from it, and who wanted you dead last night." Elias took the drive slowly. "Why give it to me?" Leo's eyes darkened. "Because the people who built this war have been using both our families for years." Tessa nodded. "We grew up fighting ghosts, not each other." Elias felt a chill move through him. So, the attack, last night, wasn't me, Leo whispered. And it wasn't you. Someone in the shadows wants this feud alive. They want chaos. They want loss. Elias tightened his grip on the drive. And we've been helping them without knowing. Leo leaned back, breathing shallow. But now you know. Elias looked from Leo to Tessa, then back to Leo. So, what do we do?
Leo smirked faintly. We stop the war by ending the real enemy. Tessa exhaled shakily. But you'll need help, both of you. This is bigger than we imagined. Elias turned toward the door, determination igniting in his eyes. Then we start right now. Leo nodded slowly. And Elias? Elias paused. We may never be friends. Maybe we shouldn't be. But after last night, I don't hate you anymore. Elias breathed in deeply, then out. I don't hate you either. Another long silence, this one different, softer, heavier, healing. Maya stepped into the room. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. She simply took Elias's hand. And in that moment, everything became clear. Old wars die when truth is louder than fear, when courage is stronger than pride, when enemies choose to see each other not as rivals, but as humans trying to survive the chaos they inherited. Elias looked at Leo one last time. This ends with us. Leo nodded. Then let's end it. The camera would fade out here, on two men who were raised to destroy each other, but instead chose to save each other. Because sometimes, your enemy understands you more deeply than your friends. Sometimes, your enemy is the one who saves you. And sometimes, the people we were taught to hate become the ones who rewrite our destiny. Fade to black, a long, quiet breath, and then soft music rising slowly, like forgiveness learning how to walk. If you enjoyed this story, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Golden Billionaire Stories, where every tale drips with luxury, power, and passion. Because here, love always comes with a price.